All right, guys, and the first team we're going to get into is, of course, the Baltimore Ravens. With their picks, they got Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Lindenbaum in the first round. They went on to select David Ojabo at pick 45, great value there. And then Travis Jones, the defensive tackle at 76. I think that alone is a winner. I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the picks that they had. They already have a really good secondary. Kyle Hamilton fits in perfectly. If you remember my last mock draft, I was like, if he goes to the Ravens, they could develop him into like an Ed Reed type player. Tyler Lindenbaum, instant starter for them. I had either him or Zion Johnson going to the Ravens. It looks like they got Tyler Lindenbaum late. Might be the biggest steal of the draft. David Ojabo, another guy who was sometimes expected to go into the first round, and they ended up getting him at 45. So they got immediate three banger players here in the secondary on their O-line and for their pass rush. And then finally, that defensive tackle, Travis Jones. He's just the perfect tackle for this system, Jonah. I mean, he's like 240 pounds, 6'4". These are the kind of guys they look for. Super athletic. If Jordan Davis wasn't in this draft, this guy probably would have gone, top 50, arguably. So, in conclusion, with the Ravens, it's all about value here. All these guys they basically stole. They like slipped a little than what they were projected. So my final grade for the Ravens, it's got to be an A plus for me here.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that with the A plus ranking. They won on all 3 days of the draft. You didn't mention the later picks, but I will. Jalen Armour Davis, Alabama cornerback. They got another tight end, another corner, super late, Demarion Williams, and the last guy they picked, Tyler Batty from Missouri. I watched some tape on him, and he's going to be some nice depth to ensure that what happened last year doesn't happen to them again.
Yeah, I like those late round picks, especially Isaiah Likely, the tight end, and Jalen Armour Davis, the corner there. So just adding more depth to an already good team. So Lamar, don't worry that Hollywood Brown is gone. You guys won this draft. You're gonna be fine.
And up next, we have the New York Jets, a perennial loser in this league, but I gotta say they made it out all right on draft night. Taking Sauce Gardner at number 4, Garrett Wilson at 10, Jermaine Johnson at 26. Those are impact guys for sure.
Yeah, and let's not forget Brees Hall, arguably the best running back in the draft at 36 as well. Jeremy Ruckert in the end of the third round. This is just like the Ravens, 4 to 5 immediate starters for this team. And whoever the GM is for the Jets, he has been on fire these last couple years. Usually, Jets fans love to boo their drafts. These last 2 years, they've been nothing but happy. Sauce Gardner went a little bit higher than expected, of course. I had him going to the Jets in my latest mock, but that was at 10. The fact that they were able to get him and Garrett Wilson then at 10. But the biggest steal, Jermaine Johnson, who, I had going top 15, went 26 to them. They looked at all the needs. They addressed them. I mean, they got everything. They went offense, they went defense. They finally got a vertical tight end. They addressed some of the O-line even in the later rounds. So, final grade for the Jets here. I know a lot of people had them as the biggest winners of the draft. I'm not gonna go A plus like the Ravens, but I will say they definitely deserve a solid A, a great A for the Jets.
I'm gonna give the New York Jets a B plus. I feel like they could have upgraded their O line a little bit more.
Yeah, if you remember, I would have liked Evan Neal at 4, but I think after the Texans surprisingly took Derek Stingley at 3, the Jets were like, "Oh fuck, we're not gonna wait till 10 to try to get up Ahmad Gardner here. Might as well just take him right away."
Yeah, that was a shocking pick. Stingley at 3.
Yeah, and you kind of called on that last podcast when we were talking about like who do you think is going to be the player to like just can't miss, might be like the next Hall of Famer. You said Derek Stingley, surprisingly, and kind of
He looks
validated.
nice. He looks really good, but I did not see him going 3.
Yeah, no, me neither. Especially with the injury, and Sauce Gardner having such a great year. But good for him. Good for the Jets. They got their guy. Great draft for them. And up next, we might as well go with the other major New York team. Sorry, Buffalo, not talking about you, but we're going to talk about the Giants. So these guys, with their first two picks at 5 and 7, got two players who arguably could have gone really number one, number two in this draft overall. Great value at 5, which is weird considering it's the fifth pick for Kayvon Thibodeau. They now pair him with Azeez Ojulari on that pass rush. Obviously, he's got that Strahan connection as well. And then at 7, they got, in my opinion, the best tackle in this draft. They're probably going to throw him at right tackle since Andrew Thomas has been having success at left tackle. But yeah, they got Evan Neal there, home run at 7. And a guy who might be a little sneaky underrated, Wan'Dale Robinson, now the Brian Daboll.
Beast.
Yes, extreme
Beast.
beast. Imagine Isaiah McKenzie for what he did for Buffalo last year, but taking like 5, 6 rush attempts per game as well. Just put the ball in his hands and let him work. And then finally, just rounding out the O line with Joshua is Izodu from North Carolina, the guard. These guys got a legit O line now with Will Hernandez and Joshua Zodu in the interior. Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas is the bookend tackles. They got a bunch of receivers, bunch of weapons, and they added a great pass rusher, a guy who immediately might come in and get double-digit sacks here for this season.
Look, in my opinion, Kayvon Thibodeau, Defensive Rookie of the Year next year.
So if I were to grade these guys, I wouldn't go as high as A or A plus, like the Jets or Ravens, but they still got to be in that ballpark. A minus for the Giants just off their first 3, 4 picks alone.
I give the New York Giants a B plus because I feel like they fumbled the bag later in the draft as opposed to early on. But if they would have had a more consistent draft, it would have been a steady A for me. But because it tailed off in the end, I have to give them a B plus.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. It seemed like after that Joshua Zodu pick, they just kind of went nowhere and just kind of reached on guys or like Cordell Flott, Daniel Bellinger. Like these aren't guys that I see maybe backups at best, but I just like their first 4 picks so much that it's enough to be like, you know what? You can afford to lose the back half of the draft as long as you nail the first half, and that's exactly what I think the Giants did here.
Whoppa!
Boom.
And up next, we have my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins, who didn't draft until the 102nd pick. But you know what? We got Tyreek Hill, so that's a draft day W for me. We were able to get that wide receiver from Texas Tech. I think he's going to be a decent guy for some depth. But I'm giving, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going right to the grade. An A plus, baby. We got
A
Tyreek
plus
Hill.
for
We got
Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, if they didn't get Tyreek, I mean, they gave up a lot to, get Tyreek, but they also went hard in free agency, grabbing Teron Armstead to shore up that O line as well. And there actually was one pick I really liked for them in this draft, and that was Channing Tindall, the inside linebacker from Georgia. A lot of people were expecting the Kobe Dean. I mean, the Kobe Dean did go a little bit earlier, but they were expecting him to go a lot higher. But this guy was overshadowed by him at Georgia. One weakness on that Dolphins defense, if I had to pick one, would definitely be that linebacker spot. So, I mean, with the one, early pick they got, they nailed it. And just because of Tyreek Hill and how good they've been in, I know it's not the draft, but it's basically when you're giving
Count
up
it.
Tyreek, we're gonna count it.
Count
But
it.
I'm gonna give him a solid. I'm gonna give him a B minus, C plus. No, C plus. C plus sounds right.
Big hater energy.
I know it sounds like I'm hating, but it's just a lot for Tyreek Hill.
No, I feel you. I understand completely.
And so we'll go to my favorite team now, also in the AFC East, and who had probably the weirdest draft, the New England Patriots. So these guys trade down 21 to 29, and they get good value, and all of a sudden they get Cole Strange, guard from
Doctor
Chattanooga.
Strange.
A super reach here, a guy who's probably graded somewhere between 70 to 80. They took him at 29, whatever. He's going to be an immediate starting guard. I don't care how good he is. This is inexcusable. You could have gotten him at 54. We did get a receiver in the second round at 50, once again, trading with the Chiefs. I just think it was the wrong receiver. I would have taken Sky Moore, or I would have tried trading up even higher for an Alec Pierce. I like Tyquan Thornton, I really do. It's just he's 6'2", 180. He's really skinny, and the speed doesn't really translate like when he puts the pads on. Number 3, their third round pick, Marcus Jones. This is like the only pick they didn't reach on, but at best, he's a return specialist and a slot corner. I mean, he's only 5'8", 170, undersized as hell. The only
Sheesh.
pick that I really liked in this draft was the 5-star recruit that we got in round 4, Jack Jones, the cornerback from Arizona State. Kind of reminds me a little bit of J.C. Jackson, only 5'10 and a half, but he's got super long arms, really athletic. If it wasn't for off the field problems, this guy probably would have gone, in the top 50 to 60 picks in last year's draft. So that's the only one I like. Final grade for this whack ass team, F minus. Literally F minus.
Mac Jones better watch out. Bailey Zappi, he's coming for his job.
Oh my god, I didn't even mention Bailey's having quarterback in the 4th fucking round. Just, typical Bill Belichick shenanigans. We
Mac
finally have
Jones
a
better
great
watch
draft
his
last
back,
year.
baby.
I just can't believe it. Finally, I got a great draft last year, and Bill Belichick and his yes men cronies for this year take back over and just reach on every fucking single pick again. If even one of these guys is a Pro Bowl player, I'll be happy.
Hey, Doctor Strange is
Oh, I
he's gonna
like his tape. I like the player. I just wish we would have taken him at like 54 rather than fucking 29.
couldn't pass on him up.
Oh, Joe G. Chattanooga, baby. Future Hall of
Hey,
Famer.
Bill's brain is bigger than your brain. That's all you gotta know.
Yeah, that I have no doubt about. But I did see Leslie and Sean McVay throw a stray at Bill Belichick when they
Yeah,
laughed at the pick.
I seen that. I seen that.
And then Colin Cowherd, he even said he texted with like two executives, and if you watch the show, you know who they are. Chris Ballard's one of them. They were like, "What the fuck are the Patriots doing here?" So we got three GMs who are basically on record saying like Bill Belichick has lost his goddamn mind in this draft. And then we took two fucking running backs later when we already have four on the active roster. Like, what the fuck is this?
You good? Are you
Huh?
okay, Ed? Are you okay?
I'm I'm done.
And next up, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think had a pretty decent draft. They picked up Trent McDuffie with their first pick, George Karlaftis with their second pick, and the guy who's replacing some of that, Tyreek Hill energy, Sky Moore. I think he can come in and fill that gap. Him and Juju combined. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to replace Tyreek Hill numbers.
Yeah, especially that speed and that quick change of direction. Sky Moore definitely gives you a lot of that. I'm projecting a lot of success with him right away. Like I said, I would have taken him over Tyquan Thornton if I was the Patriots. But for those first two picks, if you remember in that our Facebook chat, I was like, I literally wanted the Patriots to take Trent McDuffie, and then they trade down with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs take Trent McDuffie. Then at
Right.
29, all right, Patriots, I want George Karlaftis. They don't take him, and then the Chiefs end up getting George Karlaftis, who, by the way, super underrated edge rusher. I mean, this guy was just as good as any other edge rusher in college. And then some of the
Facts.
later picks, they shored up that defense. Leo Chanel, the linebacker from Wisconsin. Brian Cook, safety from Cincinnati. Shout out Cincinnati. They had a bunch of picks in this draft. And then, the rest of that afterwards was just taking some more flyers on the secondary. They did get Darian Kinnard, who I thought fell a little bit into the 5th round. So just overall, because of the sheer value and where they got these guys like Karlaftis at 30, Darian Kinnard 5th round, Sky Moore mid 2nd round, I'm gonna give the Chiefs another solid A minus here. I think they won this Tyreek Hill trade, in my opinion. When I just look at the players these guys got for Tyreek Hill compared to somebody like, let's say, Devontae Adams, the Packers got who, Quay Walker and fucking Christian Watson for him. I look at that and I'm like, well, Devontae Adams side clearly wins. I look at, Trent McDuffie and Sky Moore, and I'm like, okay, these are two bona fide starters. I think Trent McDuffie is going to be a Pro Bowler, maybe not right away. And I'm like, okay, Chiefs might have gotten off pretty good here considering they traded an all pro talent.
Yeah, I'd give them an A as well. They did execute very nicely on the picks, as you said. Because if you trade away for them picks and you get shitters, then you lost. But like you said, Trent McDuffie and Sky Moore, they're gonna be instant impact guys. I think George Karlaftis has over 8 sacks this year,
Yeah, I'll give him
and
that as well. On the D line with Chris Jones, Frank Clark, you got to love that.
I think the Chiefs get extra scary again this year. They reflect on last year as like, one that got away, and they come this year ready to fucking go.
Yeah, how lucky is Mahomes to have this great of a front office and coaching staff where it's like, all right, you just lost Tyreek, but we're going to make the team like 3 times better. Don't you worry about it. And going off to now to America's team, the Cowboys. First round, Tyler Smith, bit of a reach as well, similar to the Patriots, Cole Strange, although not on that level. Looking maybe towards the future. Tyron Smith, injury prone. He's getting in his 30s. But for now, he's probably going to start at right tackle. Tyler Smith is, maybe even moving the interior. Who knows? Another reach in the second round, I think a little bit. Sam Williams at 56. I don't see him being as that guy, especially replacing somebody like Randy Gregory. Doesn't have that motor. I liked a couple of their mid-round picks, not gonna lie. Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver, and then Jake Ferguson, our boy, the tight end from Wisconsin. I like those picks. But because they fumbled these first couple picks and then basically didn't really do anything in the rest of the draft, take any steals, I can't give them an F because, they obviously did way better than the Patriots, which is not saying much. But I'm going to give the Cowboys here a solid D plus for D Town.
D-Town. I'm going to give them a solid C because I like Duron Bland. I think he's going to be a good slot corner in the NFL. And to me, that's what saved the back half of the draft for them. But like you said, fumbled in the beginning. It's going to hurt your overall grade. Got to hit you with that C.
Yeah, I did
For
like the Moan
Dallas
Clark.
Cowboys, baby.
I did forget to mention another guy. I mean, they did get great value near the fifth round with Damone Clark, the inside linebacker from LSU. It's just, I think, uh, I like Micah Parsons kind of playing that spot already at least half the time, but with that pick, maybe he starts and Micah is just a permanent edge rusher. We'll see. I mean, and anytime we talk about a team having an F or a D draft, it's usually a little bit better than that. But I don't know. This draft confused me as almost as much as the Patriots draft did,
Jerry Jones off that pack.
which is weird because like the last 2-3 years they've been pretty damn great at this, and then this year they just went Bill Belichick mode.
I mean, I feel like the Cowboys feel like they're just missing a few little pieces here and there.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
they feel like they addressed what they needed to. And I guess that we'll see come this season. But fuck the Cowboys. We don't fuck with the Cowboys.
Not at all.
Fuck the Cowboys. And next, we have the team with the number 2 pick in this year's draft, the Detroit Lions. And boy, I did not think Aiden Hutchinson was going to fall to them, but they got their Michigan man. They got a beast wide receiver from Alabama and Jamison Williams, a strong nose tackle and Josh Bashaw. The Lions hit home runs on all these picks, in my opinion.
Yeah, you could even go one further and say Kirby Joseph, the safety from Illinois as well, all around safety, 5 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles last year, played great in the Senior Bowl as well. And going back to what you said about Aiden Hutchinson, it's funny to say Aiden Hutchinson fell, right? Because he went
Yeah,
number.
he fell one slot.
That is the real reality. Like everybody was expecting, it's got to be Aiden Hutchinson at 1. Detroit probably couldn't turn that card in fast enough when they were like, "Oh fuck, we got Aiden Hutchinson here." So not
True.
only did Detroit get the best defensive player in this draft to me, they traded up from what was it, like 31, 32, all the way to 12. They got the best wide receiver also in this class to me. He now pairs up with Amon St. Brown and TJ Hawkinson on that offense. DeAndre Swift in the running game as well. Gotta love that offense.
Sheesh.
Pascal also. Yeah, great pick here at 46. He was a top 50 prospect in my opinion. And then, like I already said, Kirby Joseph and him, Aiden Hutchinson, going to be immediate impact players on this defense. Jameson Williams is probably going to miss the first 5-6 weeks in the NFL. That's all right. I think the Lions are planning on, getting their quarterback next year's draft, which is going to be a great class. And next year, the Lions will be fucking gone. They will be kicking. Aaron Rodgers will be nearly done in the NFC North. I like the future for this Lions team here, and honestly, I love how aggressive they were in this draft. I'm gonna give the Lions an A.
MCDC deserves an A for this one.
Yes,
Is
sir. He
he
really
got
does.
he got an MCD. Aiden Hutchinson is such an MCDC guy.
Unlimited motor. Like
Unlimited
never
motor.
gets fucking tired. As me and you said a couple times already on the podcast, like this is the dude. He's coming in. He's getting 12 sacks right off the bat. Polished, super polished player. And
Yeah,
I cannot wait to see Jameson Williams fly. If this guy was healthy, he easily would have been selected in like the top 6, top 5, maybe even. He's that great of a wide receiver talent. He
De-
will immediately get separation from the best NFL corners.
now it's just up to Jared Goff to get him the ball.
Yeah, we'll see how Goff does. They definitely he can't complain. They got him a left tackle last year. They got him a great wide receiver this year to go with the pieces they already got, who are underrated in my opinion. Future is bright in Detroit. All right, moving on. We are going to go with the Seattle Seahawks, who had a bunch of picks thanks to the Russell Wilson trade in this draft. Number 9, Charles Cross. I like it. That's just about where I expected him to go, somewhere between 8 to 12. maybe the best right away pass blocking tackle in this draft. We'll see. They now have shored up that offensive line big time in this draft. They got another pass rusher at number 40, Boye Mafe. Great physical specimen, 6'4, 260, 4'5 speed. He is also going to be paired now with Daryl Tyler and Uchenna Nwosu from the Chargers, another great pass rusher. So they immediately addressed O-line and then D-line with their first two picks going in the trenches. This is the pick I love the most, though, 41, Kenneth Walker. This guy might be a Pro Bowl running back right away in this league, especially with how they contributed to this O-line. And then finally, a guy who slid a little bit, I thought would be like a top 50 pick, Abraham Lucas, who's going to go to that right tackle spot. Seahawks in this one draft and free agency have completely just made their pass rush D line way better, O line way better. Kenneth Walker, the running game is way better. They still got their good receivers. Another team just like Detroit, where it's all right, once this team gets that quarterback, they are right back in contention. And also, let's not forget Kobe Bryant, DB from Cincinnati, another Cincinnati guy. Great value at 109. Sorry. Final grade for this draft, Jonah. I'm going to say I've seen some people give him an A, some people give him a C plus. I'm gonna go in between. I'm gonna say the Seahawks get a B grade.
Wow, a B? That's pretty generous. I see it's weird grading this draft because they're in limbo right now. We don't really know what's happening at quarterback. They shored up the offensive line here. They got an edge rusher and they got a pretty fucking good running back. So that can serve any quarterback. But because I don't know, as a draft, yeah, I'm going to give it a B as well. But
Yeah,
for the
absolutely
state of
fair.
their franchise right now is like a D.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I would agree with that. Like the franchise, just because the quarterback it's kind of free fall. And Pete Carroll, it's like, do you still have it? Do you still have that coaching fastball? I think we got to get at least a mid-tier quarterback to see how these picks really pan out. Because even if Charles Cross blocks his guy for 3-4 seconds and Kenneth Walker is running for 100 yards every game, if you don't win the game and it doesn't really matter, it's going to seem like these guys are worse players than they really are, just because they don't have that quarterback, right? Like you said.
Russell Wilson can win you some games. I don't know if Drew Lock has that in him.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Lock went from early second round pick, borderline almost first round pick, to now he's going to be competing with fucking Geno Smith. Thankfully, they got some picks next year. Probably not going to win a lot of games, so they'll have a high pick next year as well. Let's see how they do.
See how the rebuild goes.
And last but definitely not least, we are going to go with the Tennessee Titans, who pulled off a shocking trade draft night. They got rid of A.J. Brown to Philly. Good return for him, a first round pick and a third round pick. At 18, they basically took a carbon copy of this guy. Traylon Burks, 6'2, 225. Very similar player to A.J. Brown, slightly taller, maybe a little bit faster. Who knows? We'll have to see him, with NFL speed. But I love Traylon Burks. It's the perfect offense for him because, it's going to be a lot of RPO, play action with Derrick Henry, Traylon Burks, Robert Woods, kill him in the intermediate, middle levels, and occasionally jump up and get that 50-50 ball. Then they added Roger McCreary in the second round at 35, 5'11, 190 pounds. Very, very physical corner. This is the brand of defense Titans want to play, especially Vrabel. Physical press corners. Let the pass
SEC
rush head
football,
off.
baby.
Yep.
SEC football.
And then a steal at pick 69 for the Titans here, which ended up being the third rounder they got from Philly. So not only do they get Traylon Burks, they get Nicholas Petit-Frere from Ohio State. And it's like, this guy's also another top 45, 50 prospect. They got a steal with him. So now that right tackle spot was the last spot they were looking to shore up on that O-line. They did that. They got a receiver to replace A.J. Brown. They got a great DB.
And then after that, they get the steal of the fucking draft.
Yeah, completely unexpected here. They trade back up. 86, Malik Willis. What better offense could he go to than this one? Completely tailor-made for him. I mean, he's probably not going to start for at least a couple years. I think he's got a lot of maturing to do.
I hope they give him some fucking gadget plays.
Oh,
Some
I hope so too.
RPO, some
Trey Lance.
Derrick Henry RPO, Trey Lance shit.
Yeah.
That'd add such a dynamic element to their offense.
Yeah, and I hope he develops sooner than later. Like, I hope he can get in after this year because I want to see him with these guys right away. Like, I don't want to wait till Robert Woods and Derrick Henry are too old to get Malik Willis and see how he pairs up with these guys. But I mean, this pick saved Willis, because if he would have gone to like the Panthers or let's say even Atlanta, that's the difference between, okay, your career is like a 4-year wash. Going to a great team like the Titans could be like, all right, now you got a 10+ year career potential, Pro Bowl career, maybe a Hall of Fame resume. Who knows? This was a really highly touted prospect that we all thought was going in the first round because of his talent.
Yeah, I'm looking up Tannehill's cap situation right now, and he restructured his deal for the Julio Jones trade, which added 2 voidable years at the end of his contract. So I
Ooh.
think this is the last year he's under contract.
Yeah, that would make sense. So I was gonna say if they could give him 2 more years from Malik Willis, there looks like he'll have 1 full year at least. Who knows? Maybe that'll be enough.
If
Uh,
they if the Titans cut Tannehill before June 1st, 2023, they save $17.8 million.
oh yeah, no, he's absolutely gone after this year. Then I mean, $18 million. That's take your pick. You can get like a very very great pass rusher, another wide receiver with that money.
Any position besides quarterback, you can get an elite guy in,
Yeah,
essentially.
basically. If not elite, because those guys might be like 24, 25 mil at the very least, like right outside the top 10. Very, very, very good talent. But final grade for this Titans draft. I forgot to mention Hassan Haskins are also, by the way, round 4 at
Yeah,
131. Great value
some
pick right
depth,
there.
take
Yeah,
some
good.
load off Derrick Henry's.
Yeah, he's been taking like 350 plus carries. He needs like 70, 80 of those to go to another running back. And Hassan Haskins, another great power back downhill guy for them. Final grade for this Titans team. I'm gonna give the Titans an A.
I got to give him an A too. Honestly, I think Treylon Burks is going to add a whole nother element to their offense that maybe AJ Brown didn't give you as consistently. I think Roger McCreary is going to shore up that secondary,
With
and
Caleb Farley coming back too. Remember, they took that corner really high in what was that last year? Yeah, last year's draft. And
yeah,
so he's going to be coming back with Roger McCreary. They got Kevin Byard in the secondary already. The pass rush is great. God, this team is stacked,
this
and
team
they're in
is
a
looking
shitty division.
really shitty division with they're only battling the Colts next year. I mean, the Texans are kind of look with Lovey Smith, they might be a problem, but it's Tennessee's division to lose
Yeah,
going
I'd
into
even
it.
put the Jags now after the draft and the offseason, maybe even ahead of the Texans. But we'll see. The Texans had some great picks there as well.
Hey, I believe in Lovey Smith.
Yeah, you really love Lovey Smith, don't you? You've been really high on him. I don't know. I think they're just limited by the quarterback situation, but
Oh
maybe the
yeah,
defense is
for
great
sure.
enough that they can win like 7, 8 games, be competitive. Who knows?
It'll definitely be a defensive team with Lovey Smith. I've seen Lovey Smith take Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl,
This is
so
facts. This is facts.
he could do it. Thanks for watching another Face First production. Drop a comment letting us know how we did. Share the video, drop a like. We're going to be doing part 2 at 5 likes. Check out our website at facefirstpodcast.com for our most recent podcasts. And as always, thanks for rocking with us.